Hello, welcome to another lecture on the ideological study of the Scarlet Letter. And today we are going to discuss a very important and to the point subject on ideology. We are going to see the features of successful ideologies. In the previous lecture, please go and watch the previous one if you haven't watched yet. In the previous lecture, I've mentioned that we do not have some standards upon which we can say that this ideology is a good one and that ideology is a bad one. So we can only say that which ideology is successful and which is not successful. And this is what we are going to do today. In the previous lecture, we talked about the definitions and the nature of ideology, and today we are going to talk about the features of successful ideologies. For example, in one day, if you are going to intend to make some ideology of your own, please follow these steps and your ideology will survive. So let's see. By the way, I've depended in this lecture on the theories of Terry Eagleton. Terry Eagleton is, of course, one of the most important Marxist theorists, and he is still alive up to this moment of speaking of this lecture. And he has some 40 or 50 books, and he has some amazing literary theories in this regard. He is a great Marxist, and he has such an amazing and mature theories in this regard. So here we have 6 features of a successful ideology, and of course later we will find these 6 features in the novel, in the Scarlet Letter, in the coming lectures. So please be patient and let's see these features. Number 1, a successful ideology must be unifying. Number 2, action-oriented. Number 3, rationalizing. Number 4, legitimating. Number 5, universalizing. And number 6, naturalizing. So let's find out what do they mean one by one. Number 1, unifying. The unification of ideology refers to the fact that it has such a power to provide unity to its followers. It strives to homogenize its subjects, since the more homogeneous a group of people are, the more successful that ideology appears to be in its functions. This is really interesting. And by the way, when studying this course and watching these lectures, please always put in your mind some ideologies of your own, of your society, and try to find these theories, these features in your own societies and the dominant ideologies in your societies. In the novel, for example, we have this unification of the ideology. We see that all the people in the novel, they are unified under one slogan. They are unified under one belief that doing adultery is something bad and the doer must be punished. While, for example, in 2020, in this year, doing adultery is not something to be punished for. Okay, people may get divorced, but it is not such a great matter today. Of course, I'm talking about certain European and American societies. I'm not talking about the Oriental societies and the Islamic societies. So you see that all the society, all the people in the novel are unified under one idea that the women should be punished. And this is one of the functions of a successful ideology. That ideology was so successful that it could unify its people under this belief. And of course, and let's take an example from religions. Let's take an example of Islam. Islam is a religion that unifies its people. They are all unified. For example, they all go to pilgrimage, to Hajj. They pray in groups. They try to do their social activities in groups. So it is so unifying. This is one of the features of a successful ideology. Number two, it is action oriented. Ideologies should have the power to transform ideas from the theoretical into practical realms. Ideologies should have the capacity to be translatable on the real ground, furnishing their subjects with motivations, aspirations, and goals. Again, a successful ideology should have that power to transform its theories into actions. Okay, for example, in the novel, they all believe that doing adultery is something bad. Okay, but that ideology of Christianity, of Puritanism, it moved one step further and succeeded to convince its people to do action against that girl, to punish that girl, the adulterous girl. So this is action oriented. So ideologies do not stop at the threshold of theories and that's it. No, they move on to do things, to do actions. For example, ISIS. Okay, ISIS propose its theories of extremism and violence. Yet it moved on to transform those theories into actions, and those followers, the ISIS fighters, started practicing those theories. They tried to realize those theories on the real ground. Okay, so it is action oriented. Number three, a successful ideology provides its followers with rational reasons to do what it tells them to do. This is of great importance, and in order to be successful in your ideology, you should put this one. Your ideology must be rationalizing, otherwise it will fail and it will not survive. For example, Marxism, it was not rational in today's world. That's why it expired and died. In the novel, we see that all the people are convinced to punish the girl, okay? Because that punishment is rational, it is logical. Otherwise, people would not kill people, okay? For example, the ISIS fighters, they kill innocent people because it is so rational to them. Otherwise, they would not kill people, because at the essence of people, you can find some light, some humanity, some humanism. When you see that people do bad things because they are following such an ideologies that rationalize doing bad things. By the way, a philosopher, I remember I've been reading an interesting idea by a philosopher. He says that without bad religions, okay, bad people do bad things and good people do good things. With bad religions, we have that good people do bad things. It's really amazing, because bad religions and bad ideologies, they always try to rationalize bad things, okay? So as you will see in the novel, that people are convinced to punish the girl because punishing is so rationalizing to them. Number four, legitimating. Legitimation refers to the process by which a ruling power comes to secure from its subjects approval to its authority. In other words, legitimation works on transforming the crimes of the authorities into something humanitarian and necessary for the survival of people. Number four and number three, they are so close to each other, okay? According to Terry Eagleton, legitimation or legitimization is a process by which the rulers keep ruling people. They try to have the approval, the consent of their subjects to continue ruling people and to stay on their thrones, okay, and to do their authority over people. So it legitimizes their power. It legitimizes what they are doing. Because doing rationalization, okay, when you rationalize something bad, you will of course legitimize your staying at a throne and your rule and your power, okay. So legitimizing is of course another important feature of successful ideology. Number 5, an ideology introduces itself as eternal without being bound to time or space. It does not designate a starting point or birthday to its ideas. Rather, it proposes them as the values of all humans throughout history. Again, a successful ideology does not say that, for example, this is the beginning of my ideology. No, it is a wrong thing to do, okay? A successful ideology says that my ideology was from long ago and it existed in the nature, in the world from so much years ago. But now I have discovered my ideology and this is a good idea and this is a good theory. But they never say that today is the birthday of my ideology. No, because it is wrong. For example, whenever you look, okay, for example, when you go and look for Marxism, they never say that Marxism started with Marx. They always say that Marxism existed before Marx. When you go to ISIS, the ISIS fighters, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, he doesn't say that my theories, my ideas started with me. No, he says that it has been surviving and it has my ideology, it has been there in the world since a very long time ago, okay, but I now announce it, I introduce it to the world. Because once you say that, once you designate or tell people that this is the beginning of the ideology, this is the birthday of the ideology, it will die one day, because you should never designate a point, a starting point for your ideology, or you will fail and your ideology will die. So it should be universalizing, as in the novel. Those magistrates and the church people, okay, they always try to tell their people that doing adultery is something bad since the beginning of the creation, okay, and it will be something bad up to the edge of doom or the doomsday. So universalizing is one important feature for the success of any ideology. And the last one, naturalizing. An ideology should present itself as self-evident, common sense, so that it cannot be questioned of how it is different. It works in a way that tends to be fused with social reality to the extent that it projects itself as the legitimate son of truth. Look, an ideology doesn't say that I am an ideology. You will never find such a thing. For example, when you go to ISIS, those extremist ideas, they will never say that this is an ideology, because saying something is ideology, it is a bad thing. So no one never says that my ideas are an ideology, because they try to propose themselves and to present themselves as something natural, okay? Because once you propose yourself or present yourself as something natural, people will accept it, okay? They will not question your ideas and ideologies because they are natural. So a natural ideology will survive and it will never fail, because people will embrace it and accept it. For example, in the novel, when that girl did adultery, okay, people punished the girl because it was something natural, that adultery is a bad thing. To do adultery is a bad thing in nature. That's why people were convinced to punish that girl. So naturalizing is another important feature of a successful ideology. For the coming lectures, please stay tuned for further interesting theories on the nature and the world of ideologies. So thank you very much. Stay tuned. Bye bye.